Sports talk worldwide. Hey, it's boxing again, right? So you know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Hey, the biggest news for me when I read this, I was elated, totally elated. I think that what should have happened. Guillermo Rigondeaux has called out VASYL Lomachenko. Now, you guys have watched the fight last week. Lomachenko beat Nicholas Walters rather easily, cementing his status in the pound for pound list. Great fight, right? We know that Lomachenko is a two-time gold medal winner. Well, here's the deal. So is Guillermo Rigondeaux. They fight similar. It's just one is being called boring and the other one is being called great. So the boring guy who fights the same way has called out Lomachenko. That's very significant news. I hope somebody's listening to him. Now, what makes it a little funny here is Bob Arum is seeming to do what he always does. Now, Bob Arum, 84 years old, he's promoted 2,000 fights over the years, has seen it all in the business. But he has stated on several occasions, right, that people are like rocks. You can move them in any direction. Now, he's a promoter. He does that. So what he's up to right now is just basically, instead of fighting this guy, let's label him something because the people are going to eat it anyway. So let's just label him something like boring, right? Because what he's saying right now is, oh, we don't want to fight Rigondeaux because he will snooze up the place, right? Which means he will basically put everyone to sleep. Well, from the 17 opponents that he's fought, he has put 11 of them to sleep. So, but the way Bob talks about him, you would think he was out from the 17 fights, he would only have knocked out one or two. No, 11 of them have been put to sleep, including Nonito Donaire, who at the time was in the top three pound for pound. He was the most significant fighter in the lower weight divisions at the time. This guy, Rigondeaux, beat him in his 11th fight, guys. 11th fight, similar to Lomachenko. Now, Lomachenko's fighting at 130 pounds, right? He was fighting at 126. Rigondeaux is fighting at 122 now. He really could fight at 118, but he's chasing guys, right? And he's fighting at 122. So he's called him out, asked him, can we fight at some catch weight? He's going to be ignored. My issue is to make sure that you guys don't let it get ignored and don't let him get labeled as anything. Do your homework, watch him yourself, and you tell me, is there pretty much any difference between these two fighters? It is an easy fight to sell. Bob Arum is the king of this. He should be able to sell this fight easily. Why? Why was it easily? Well, Lomachenko is going to sell anyway because you guys are telling him you just compared him to Muhammad Ali, didn't you? So, and had an awesome fight. So you're able to sell him. The other guy's a two-time Olympic gold medal champion who hasn't lost much in the amateurs at all with 400 fights, I think it was. He lost 12 of them. You know, he hasn't lost as a pro, right? This is a battle between two-time gold medal winners, right? Easy to sell. What do you can call it? The gold rush or the real pound for pound fight or something. Yeah, there's easy things that just come up to in my mind right now where you can sell this fight easily. It's an easy fight to sell. This would not be a snooze fest. This would be two of the best fighting each other, right? I think it should be done. I'm happy that Guillermo Rigondeaux had called him out so he can put his name back in the people's consciousness because he's on that level. And here's another thing too. In the boxing community, everyone knows in the boxing community, but like I say, us casual fans, sometimes we don't go down to these smaller weight classes. But when you're talking about someone being blatantly avoided, I'm not going to use duck because duck is a boxing insider term. Avoid it, which means this is where it gets into boxing sometimes and it's just not right. The guys that get avoided blatantly, you have guys like Carl Frampton, Leo Santa Cruz, who blatantly said, we're not going to fight this guy. We're going to go up another weight division, which is only about 4 or 5 pounds. We'll go up there. We'll fight in a lucrative fight. That means the guys that are lesser fighters are getting paid. The great fighters are getting are getting less money and somewhere in obscurity somewhere. This is an injustice, and of course, that's why we have to address it here because we're into injustices. Now, this is not a boxing channel. This is a sports channel, but it's an injustice in sport, so it's going to get addressed. Simple as that. Now, these Leo Santa Cruz and my man Carl Frampton had a great fight. Fight of the year candidate. Okay, they both avoided my man Guillermo Rigondeaux, which shows you how good he must be, right? They're about to fight again, by the way, for some more money. And in the meantime, Guillermo Rigondeaux pretty much can't get a fight. It's similar to what happened to Andre Ward after the Super Six tournament, right? Which we keep trying to act like it was so far away. It was a long time ago. Super Six tournament means the best of the best are fighting the best. Period. The top six guys are fighting each other. Andre Ward at the time barely got invited. He wasn't one of them. They didn't think he had any business being there. He goes, wins the tournament, dominates the tournament, and what happens? The guys that are lesser fighters that didn't win the tournament fight each other for a whole lot of money. Andre Ward is labeled boring and barely can get fights, right? I'm pretty sure Kessler, Mika Kessler, and Carl Froch got paid huge fighting each other. Didn't they have two fights for sure, but it wasn't a trilogy? I'm not sure, but they were able to fight each other, while the best fighters, are not getting the recognition for being the best. If you ask me, we should be trying to figure out some kind of way to get them some kind of fees of I've been blatantly ducked fee, which means the next time you guys are going out there fighting each other, he should be able to get some of that money. Or some kind of organization should be paying him for being the best. Because we're going to fight, the lesser fighters are getting paid, right? Because they're on the same level and it's a good fight. Yeah, good. But what do we do with the best? Isn't that what we try to find out in all sports? So back to my point, Guillermo Rigondeaux, keep calling them out, get as loud as possible so the people can realize that that is a fight to make, probably at about 126 pounds, whatever. We'll get to who can win that fight. It doesn't even really matter. I just think it should happen. And I also think that Guillermo Rigondeaux should just be getting the recognition of being a very, very great fighter, just like Lomachenko. Thoma Sports Talk, and I'm up out of here.